so they can go on and live the lives that they truly deserve. So I was on earlier. My internet went out, so I'm just going to start from scratch on this subject. We've been having problems with the internet for a few weeks. Everybody's complaining about it. But anyway, so, you know, we've been talking about the credit trap and how you get in it and what you can do about getting out of it. And what we've been talking about earlier today is the first step in the process of repairing your credit is cleaning up your names and addresses. It's the first step. Don't skip this step. I'll tell you a few things about credit repair. Number one, it's slow. Okay, don't get going too fast. Don't get ahead of the game. Just some tips about the whole process is like don't send your disputes out earlier than 30 days. Okay, not 29 days, 30 days, 31. You can't speed up the process by sending them out faster. In fact, you slow down the process, because if you redispute in under 30 days, the law that says the credit bureaus have to respond within 30 days, it automatically gets extended to 45. And believe me, they're going to take those 45 based on your mistake. Be patient in credit repair. It's just going to take you 6-12 months. I mean, to get your credit cleaned up. It does not happen overnight. You need to do everything via hard copy mail. When I say hard copy, I mean print out a letter, put it in an envelope, address it, mail it certified to the credit bureaus. Never dispute online. When you dispute online, it's the same thing. You give them extra time to respond. You give up some of your rights when you dispute online. But let's talk about cleaning up your names and addresses and why it's important. So the reason that it's important is because when you dispute an account with the credit bureau, the very first method of verification that they use is they look for a name and address match. And so I can tell you my own personal experience. When I first looked at my credit reports and saw, like, I'm just a man, I've only had one name my whole life. I've had many addresses because I was in the Army for 21 years. I lived around the world. But I had about 10 versions of my name recorded and at least 19 addresses recorded. So you can see exponentially how that makes it easier for a credit bureau to verify something on your credit report. Because the first method of verification, they look for a name and address match. And when they find that, they produce a letter that says this account has been verified, and they mail it back to you saying we verified the information in this account, even though they really didn't. Okay. And what I will say is that most people, when they get that first letter that is responding to their dispute back and it says we verified the information in your account, they take that letter, they throw it away, they say to themselves, oh, well, I guess I just, they verified it, I guess I have to live with this. And then they keep renting for the rest of their life. That is not the case. That is only the beginning of credit repair. You don't take their first response because they lied about it. They did a name and address verification. They found a match and they called that a verification. They didn't verify anything in your account. And so what I'm going to suggest, okay, first of all, go get credit monitoring somewhere. Just pay the $24.95 a month for credit monitoring. It's worth it. If you don't know where to get it, go to our website, citizencreditsolutions.com, click on the tab, credit monitoring, and sign up for credit monitoring. It's just going to be worth it. I use it. But besides that, beyond that, okay, what you want to do in this process of cleaning up your names and addresses, you want to go to annualcreditreport.com. Annualcreditreport.com is a website where you can go and you can get your 3 credit reports from the 3 different credit bureaus, and it's really the most accurate method of looking at your credit report. They do not come with credit scores. People get all wrapped up in their credit score, but to fix your credit, you have to know what's in your credit. What's in your credit report is more important than your credit score. Because there's 70 different ways to calculate your score anyway. So go to annualcreditreport.com. When you're in there, you're going to be able to get all 3 credit bureaus. You have to do them one at a time, and they ask you several security questions to make sure it's really you getting the credit reports. Okay. So when you need to plan on spending about 15 to 20 minutes behind the computer when you're doing it. You're going to log in, you're going to get the credit reports one at a time. And what I want to say is, when you're in there and that credit report is open, you want to save it as a PDF file and save it, because don't think that you're going to look at your credit report and then get distracted and then come back an hour later and open it up again, because you're not. You're going to be locked out. The reason they call it annualcreditreport.com is because you get it annually. So while that report is open, you have to save it while it's open. Okay. Get all 3 reports, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. I will tell you that Experian is the most accurate in the name and address department. And Equifax and Experian and TransUnion, they all have your at some point in that credit report, it's going to have your personal information. Experian and TransUnion usually have it in the beginning. Equifax has it at the end. But what you want to do is you want to go find that information and look and see how many different versions of your name they have and how many different versions of your address that you have. They're going to have phone numbers, different phone numbers and stuff too, but occasionally you're going to see people that have 2 or 3 different versions of their social security number recorded. There's a few reasons that you need to clean this up. The first reason is because that's the first method of verification that a credit bureau uses to verify information. Second is, the more versions of your name and address you have recorded, the easier it is for somebody to steal your identity. It just makes it that much easier if there's that many versions of them that they can use. So you want to go to annualcreditreport.com and pull those credit reports, and you also want to sign up for credit monitoring. Annualcreditreport.com is not credit monitoring. That's not what it is. Credit monitoring alerts you to changes in your credit file. You can use Credit Karma if you want, but it stinks. It's terrible. So I don't recommend that you do it. Go to one of the paid sites. So you have those credit reports from annualcreditreport.com. You don't need to print out the entire report, because a lot of these reports are 50, 60, 70, 80 pages long. Print out the 2 or 3 pages that has your personal information on it. Okay, the name, primarily the names and addresses. That's what they're using for verification. Not so much employers or phone numbers. You want to clean that up, but the most important part is names and addresses. So you going to want to print out those 2 or 3 pages that's on there. And then you're going to write a letter to the bureaus, and you're going to say, here's my correct name, here's my correct address, here's my correct social security number, here's my correct phone number, here's my correct employment. All of any versions that aren't these should not be on my credit report, because they are not authorized to be on there. And you're gonna print that out. Those letters that you printed, the pages from the credit bureaus that you printed out, okay, that are your personal identification pages. You're going to write on there and say, like this, you're going to circle this, the name that you want legally to be used. This is my name, and then scratch through all other names and write on there, these names are not me, and I don't want them on my credit report. Do the same thing with the addresses. You really want to nail it down to the one address that you're at, where you currently are. If you've been there less than 2 years, it might be okay to have 2 addresses on there, where you're at and the last one. You don't want anything beyond that. I can tell you that on mine, when I first started disputing names and addresses, there was an address on one of my an address in Fort Myers, Florida, where I have never even driven on that street, never seen the house, never been in the house, never lived at the house, never been on the street. And I'm actually still fighting that address. I'm still fighting with them over that. But cleaning up your names and addresses is the first step in cleaning up your credit. And this step can take a month or 2, because quite often they don't respond to your first letter, or they might take off some of the names and addresses and leave others on there. Like I say, I'm still fighting this address in Fort Myers, where I've never even been. But this part of the process is very important to take care of. You just want to make sure that you don't skip this step. like I said, credit repair is slow. You're not going to fix your credit in 30 days. You're not going to fix it in 90 days. It might take you 90 days to clean up your names and addresses, but you need to follow the system. It's slow, but if you don't do it, you're just going to stay in bad credit, and you're just, you're going to keep renting for the rest of your life and paying high interest rates and paying high insurance rates. So we're going to sign off. I want to just make sure you understand, don't pass up the part about cleaning up your names and addresses. Remember, print this stuff out, hard copy, fold it up, put it in an envelope, mail it to the credit bureaus certified. Don't redispute before 30 days passes. Some other things about your letters, it does help to use different fonts and different colors in your letters, because that tricks the optical character readers that the credit bureaus get. Credit bureaus get about 30 million disputes a year. They don't have that many employees sitting around opening letters and reading them. They're using technology to read your letters, and you really want your letter to end up in the hands of a human being, not a computer. So that's some of the things you can do. Handwrite on your letter. You can handwrite your letter if you want to. That's even better. That's the best way, because optical character readers not going to read that. Find some font that looks like handwriting. Anyway, those are tricks of the trade. But anyway, don't forget to clean up your names and addresses before you get started in the dispute process. Okay. If you got questions, call us 888-610-7366 or visit our website. There's a link to our website there on the screen. That's our do-it-yourself packages, but you can see that's our website. And so that is it for today. We'll be back with more tips about repairing your credit. As always, peace, love, and good credit. Can't wait to see y'all again.